Thanks for checking out the latest real conversation from Oh My Talking Head, a production of No He Did Entertainment under the auspices of Cottrell Jones Multimedia, respectively and respectfully. You can find us most everywhere online at Oh My Talking Head. That's OHMYTALKINGHEAD at Oh No He Did ENT. That's OKNOWHEDIDENT and at Cottrell Jones MM. That's COTTRELLJONESMM. All of these are highly Googleable, I assure you. So look us up and hook us up with a like, share, follow. Bonebreaker Studios, I'm in here, you're out there. Come on in. Let's get into a real conversation, shall we? And with whom am I speaking today? Bartender Roni. Heavy on the bars, though. First lady of the label, SSLC, that's the Southside Live Click. Lead hair hustler at her own company, Cornrow Kitty. Our guest is a bona fide golden era veteran in the rap game. She's hot,
Mhm.
but even hotter when spitting flames. Originally holding down A Town as a caustic dame, she crossed into the
Mhm.
21st century and began to gain a solid rep as a solo act and even more respect on her name. Our guest
Mhm.
is known to take her respect, but you know what's more important? She gives respect. She shows love to her fans. That's what I'm also grateful with regard to her. She's got that kind of love that's kept us in touch over the years and over the miles. And her showing up for us, for me, today makes us and me want to double up the love and give it back. So, fam, every woman, every man, just felt like singing that part. Prepare yourselves for a real conversation with the Houstonian, Spliph Stonian, Spliph Lewis. Welcome, Spliph.
Hey, welcome, welcome. What's going down? Thank you, thank you. What's happening with you? Good to be here.
Absolutely. Good to have you. I'm glad you made time for us. I know you got 50 million irons in the fire, and we're going to talk about some of them. But first off, did you like the intro? Is that okay?
Oh yeah, man. That's cold right there. I
Okay.
like that. That's
Like
nice.
I'm not super
Thank
lyrical. I have to leave that to you all, but I do what I can when I can.
Hey, you got some nice words there.
I thank you. I had Jamaican friends that used to always say, Oscar, you got a lyric. And
You know what I'm saying?
I was like, okay, got a lyric. They said you can talk. I go, oh, okay, because I've tried to rap one time in my life and it did not go well. So I put that mic down. It sounded in my head, it sounded like Big Daddy Kane. When it came out on the mic, it sounded like a damn shame. So I let the mic go.
That's a good one.
That's it. I had to let it. And that was my last rhyme. I said, let me let that go. All right. So now I'm a dessert first kind of guy. You notice when you go into the banquets and stuff, you got the table set up, when you have yourself your fancy meal, the cloth tables,
Right,
and you got the tea with the sweeteners, all of the plates and little forks and knives and stuff, and they already have dessert and salad already out there. And so
right,
then why am I waiting till the end? It's right there with the salad. So
right.
I have dessert first, get into the desserts and the snacks. So that's how I like to do. So then I'll dig into the sweet stuff right away. And I
All
have to
right.
say, you are the most beautiful Benjamin Button, Ben Janet Button ever. And you haven't
Thank
aged a bit since we met last century. And it seems like it ought to be impossible, but it couldn't happen to a sweeter spirit. So I'm glad of that for you. You've been the same kind of fine since the double arts and fiery,
right,
mind, body, soul. Now, the question to kind of head off the haters and also maybe to pick up a piece of advice for the rest of us, how do you do that?
right.
How do you appear ageless and beautiful in and out after decades?
Well, first things first, I don't hold any grudges, you know. Um, whatever gets me upset. I might be upset about it for a little while, but I don't hang on to it because you know that adds age to you when you're worried about stuff that you can't do anything about. That's the mental part. Physically, what I do is I take care of my body. Your body is your temple, and I stay away from a lot of red meat. I eat lots of fish and chicken and turkey, but vegetables, water, and herbs. People need to get back into contact with a lot of herbs, moringa, turmeric, things like that. I'm on my herbalist journey.
Interesting. Okay, so it's like you feeding the body, but it's like you feeding our mind at the same time because starting right out the gate, that holding grudges thing and just like
Hmm.
letting it go, I start to think about that in terms of maybe a kind of spirit poisoning, so to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just got if you don't let it go, it stays on you, shows up in your face, shows up in your
indeed,
skin. Is that kind of where you're going?
indeed. Yes, indeed, indeed. Because it's one thing about it is you can't move on if you stuck on something that already happened.
Bars. See,
So
there's
you
lyrics
have
already.
to exactly you have to forgive. And first off, you have to forgive yourself for even being mad at whatever that malarkey was in the first place. You
Mm,
know,
mm.
yeah, you have to forgive yourself for even getting to that point. Things happen. Yes, we get mad and stuff like that, but you can't hold it against yourself or whoever you were mad at because that's all said and done. It's over with. You have to let it go because stress will bring you down. Stress will age you. It will make you sick mentally, emotionally, and physically. So, and to keep life in you, you have to not stress about things. And we're supposed to love each other anyway. So you have to learn how to forgive. Don't forget. You don't have to forget it,
That's right.
but at least forgive it to get that stress off of your system. That's extra weight you carrying.
Man, you remind me every now and again, I don't know what situations bring it out of me, but the wisdom does come that I would quip to someone in the heaven that I hope to go to. We all have to
Mhm.
find a way to live together. So that you
Yes,
can imagine, like, you might, if heaven forbid, run across somebody who did your family dirty, maybe took a family member off the planet. Well,
right,
if there's forgiveness for everyone, that's for everyone. You mean you go cross
right,
over the threshold of the pearly gates, see a murderer, and still hang on to that? I
exactly.
that right there. I mean, and depending on your face set, you find the paradigm that makes sense to you. But if you're going to be somewhere in what is supposed to be paradise, what you have to do is leave the things that are not of joy and ultimate pleasure for forever and ever. You have to leave that behind. So that
Yeah,
wisdom hits again the way you say it.
yeah, of course, of course. You can't carry that with you. It's gonna weigh you down.
Absolutely. It seems more so than like I would read it, and most people I think if they were just, observing, would read it as a type of sweetness that's just you. But it sounds like this is something that you imparting on the rest of us, like, you know what, you can be that way too. Just let it go. And I mean,
Mm.
that's wise. That's
Yeah,
time to
I mean,
shift.
I've actually ran into some situations where I was upset for a really long time, but even still, I knew I had to let that go too, and move on. You know what I'm saying? Because just being what's still being mad at it long after it didn't happen. What good is it gonna do for you to carry that with you?
Facts. Let it go. Now,
Yeah.
I have to give some flowers to go along with your dessert. I'm gonna pick roses because it's the obvious choice. The thing about roses, they look sweet. And if you get real roses, like not the flower shop ones grown in like the water on the rocks with the minerals, but some that's been hit the ground
Right.
somewhere, they don't last long, but they smell and they look sweet. Like you can really bury your nose and smell the sweetness of a rose. However, real roses also have thorns that are sharp. I say that to
Very true.
say that sweet smell, sweet look, but the sword, the weaponry, the defense mechanism is sharp. So don't get that twisted about Spliff. Spliff fire. She keep a sharp sword.
Exactly.
Now, as an
Mhm.
MC, you wield a mighty mic with unmatched skill. So then that balance of lovable and lyrical, there have been folks who have made a career based on one or the other. And you got a double shot. You got both ends of it, both of them. So then the next question, a little softball to you, but give us some more wisdom. First of all, how and why do you think that is? And then second, how important is it to you that you balance both?
Um, I'll shoot for the balance part first.
Okay.
It's not an easy job to balance both of them, but everybody needs an outlet.
Okay.
Everybody needs an outlet, and music is therapy for me. It's it's a lot of therapy. It's a
Hmm.
lot of therapy for me. You know, um, that's how I was able to make that balance happen.
Okay.
So to elaborate into that even more, I'm gonna jump back to the first part of the question. I feel that I am able to hold down the career as being a lovable person, a caring person, lyrical as well, is because I've stayed real my whole time. I've never changed. I still have a friend from high school. What's up, Patrice girl? Go Patrice. Go Patrice. I'm still in contact with her, and I bring up Patrice out of any other person because I could have grabbed anybody out the sky, but she constantly tells me all the time that girl, you ain't changed since high school, girl. Your ass is still retarded. I'm sorry about the cuss word, you know,
Oh no,
but
this is the internet. You can go for it.
oh, okay, bleepity bleep bleep. But
Yeah.
she's like, girl, you ain't changed since high school. You know what I'm saying? So that staying real, staying 100, as real as possible, because there are some real people that had to go a little fake, possibly just to get away from the people that they were with, or a situation, But me being real, the same person that I've been since like 12 when I decided to start rhyming. It gives you that love that I've gained from my fans and from the different people that I've been in contact with, and I've never forgotten where I started, where I came from,
Okay.
and you know, being being that lovable person and understanding. That's the other thing, you know. I'm real understanding. A lot of people call me to vent. People call me just to ask for advice. I mentor a lot of folks too.
Hmm.
So, you know, you 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 have to figure out how to make that balance. Back to that second part. It's really hard knowing that there's a lot of people that look up to me, as a MC.
Right.
They look up to me as an MC, but they also look up to me as a entertainer overall. Um, as a female entertainer too, because there's a lot of women out there that's not putting it forward the way I am. Nothing against anybody. Get it how you can. You know, I support everybody, and
Absolutely.
that helps too. I give the support that I receive. You support me, I'm gonna support you back, even if it is just sharing your shit. You know,
Absolutely. I think that
and
people
and
think that this is a lot more complex um, than that. Like you said, you give it me, I give it back. You share mine, I share yours. It really doesn't have to be hard.
I mean, supporting people and being real is that's about the only free thing you're gonna get in the
Thanks.
entertainment industry from an MC point of view. You
Thanks.
know, sharing is free.
Now
That's support.
I think that me gathering like your answer here, you kind of gave me a bit of wisdom, and it made me think back to on a couple of occasions I would be waiting to speak, and someone would be doing an introduction, not having a lot of knowledge of who I was as a person, but if
Hmm.
that's their role in the meeting or at the gathering, then they talk to me for a few minutes, and they just do a whiz bang job of coming up with a great introduction. Sometimes they would say things and I go like, "Oh, that's me," because I don't think I've had a chance to exhibit that behavior in a way that they would know to say that. What it made me
Right.
do is say, "Let me not make a liar out of them." So when you say
Hmm.
there are people, like, you recognize that there's folks who look up to you, who seek you
Yeah.
out for mentoring, who recognize you as a sweet soul. Even if you don't
Right.
think that's your fundamental nature, you find that nature in yourself. You talked about grounding. So you work on
Mm-hmm.
that as a grounding, like, you know what, I'm going to be that person. And then I
Right.
think you also made mention of staying consistent, and then
Yeah.
understanding other people. Like, okay, so how do folks see me at my best? And those things that are consistent with me, they say, well, you know what? She's always honest. Yeah. She's health conscious.
Hmm.
Absolutely. She's clean and thorough and meticulous, and she stands up for everybody. She makes sure that they're represented. You go, yep, yep, yep. And then they say, and she speaks fluent Spanish. And you go, I better pick up a couple of phrases. Like, you start.
I mean, I'd have to correct them and be like, nah, not fluid, un poquito. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so exactly. But to say you exhibit, I just throw that out there because you was like, okay, what are
Yeah.
all of the positive things that they've said that are true? Let me continue to
Right.
do that. I think what it also kind of begs is that and this is a hard thing for, like, especially, this is years ago for you. But when you're first coming out as a rapper and you want someone with your first rhyme to say, "Oh, that's the best thing I heard since MC Light." Okay, well,
Right.
very few people are going to be so crass to say you suck. That's not what you're
Right.
going to get, because you're going to come out first to your friends and family. They're going to say something
Hmm.
to the effect like, "That was good," and then that little octet when their voice goes up, say, "That was all right right
Right.
there." That tells you
Right. They hit that that was good in that falsetto.
exactly. So that tells you, okay, I need to improve. So I'm going to take that note. I'm not going to make them be mean to me. But if I don't
Right.
hear the wonderful thing that I once said, you work on yourself, because you also said that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you work on
Mm-hmm.
yourself, you stay consistent, and you show up
Mm-hmm.
in that regard. And then you can find the balance, because if I'm gathering correctly, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the balance is hard because it's work on your grounding, but it's also it looks effortless because it's authentic. It's always authentic.
Right. As long as you real with it, that's what makes it easy.
Okay.
You know, and that's the only thing that makes it easy. I mean, if you flip more than Dominique Biles, then you ain't gonna get that type of love and support. You know, from the people that you're expecting it from. You can't be flip flopping like a dang on gold gymnast and shit. You got to stay straightforward. Like you're in the 100-meter dash. I use a lot of metaphors, so.
No, I'm with you. Of course, you're an MC. I get it. The thing
you
about it
know,
too is, I think in the female space, balancing the two is extra important, because in the era that we met,
hmm
right coming out of the golden era, you didn't have like women at the lead. Every now and again, you'd have uh, Queen Latifah and Shaquille. They were
right.
partnering with Flavor Unit. But by and large, if you get a Missy Elliott, a Rod Digger, somebody like that, they're
Mm-hmm.
getting walked into the industry by male counterparts, and it's like you
Right.
have to get in there and say, all right, I'm gonna soft shoe here, I'm gonna be sweet here, But then when I get in, like say a Eve or something like that, then you got to show
Exactly.
muscle, so it's a balancing act even then.
Yes, that's a balancing job as well because and a lot of female entertainers, female MCs will agree with me that the first thing that we're womanized from jump.
Hmm.
We're womanized from jump. So that's a
Hmm.
whole nother type of balance that we have to deal with as a woman, as an MC. We get treated differently.
Yes.
Like we have to. Uh, okay, never mind. You said this internet. We always get womanized. Like we have to suck and fuck to get into the game, in which we don't.
Yeah. It is the base
And
assumption that that's what happens. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, sadly, it's a lot of them that still turn and go that route, but you don't have to. Hence,
No,
Queen Latifah, MC
that's right.
Light. You
That's
know
right.
what I'm saying? All of the ladies, Roxanne Shante, all the ladies that set the platform. You know what I'm saying? They paved the way for us to get in, but it seems that as time passed, we still didn't get the respect that female MCs got back then. We still got looked at as if, what I'm saying, we wanted to do something strange for a piece of change. So to balance that, we have to keep that femininity, that softness and everything, like you said, and still balance it out with that hardness to where like you ain't finna get over on me, nigga. I could do this shit just as good as you. And
Absolutely.
I can show you without having to drop my drawers, you know.
Yes. Well, I
Yeah,
think
that's
the
kind of hard to balance too. So I try to let it be known to a lot of men and a lot of women that my favorite line is I could pull a dude in a turtleneck boot. So that's
I
that's that other balance. Yes, that's
I
that
think
other
that
balance. That soft, lovable side, and then that hard side. We got to.
I think that we're going to hit the final frontier, and it's starting to happen already. When you can do both, because it's certainly not a problem. For say, I remember Big Daddy Kane when they asked, in a nutshell, what his vision was for his career. He said he wanted to
Hmm.
be a cross between Marvin Gaye and Malcolm X. And I think he
Hmm.
successfully navigated that space. So then,
Right.
how come Big Daddy Kane gets to, be the sex machine that is posing nude with Madonna in the book that you got to buy behind the Playboy, and then he could turn around and rap, and then after the after show he could walk. I think Roxanne Shante was like he's walking through the hotel, with nothing but a chain and a smile on, going from room to room. How come he gets to do
Right.
that, but a female cannot? Now, we're not quite there yet because there is a double standard. But when you have the agency, to your point to saying, well, people have to, bend the knee and open the mouth, so to speak,
Right.
females and stuff like that. And that's the base assumption. Well, what if it is? It's but that is agency. If you are, a boss in whatever lane, and that's the way that you want to go, but at the same time you still got control. Not quite there yet because you have to almost fight that base assumption. But if we get there to where you say like, oh man, she was in there and she didn't get on by sleeping with 10 dudes, but that's she's got that kind of prowess, that's what she want to do. Okay.
Hmm.
So that might be something to go in the future. I would say, backing off of that, because there's probably a whole bunch of fathers that just cringed. Um,
Mm.
I'll say what you want to do is be able to have agency and ownership. Whoever you are and whoever you show up as, be willing
Hmm.
to live with that. So then if
Right.
you come in, and you say, I'm so and so, this, that, and the third, this is brown and this is, pink. Not naming no names, but if that's what you show up as, and people tag you as that, and then we start listing the top 10 rappers in like top 10 females, and you're not listed, then it's what happened? Hey, you
Right.
came at us this way. So we just
Mhm.
put you in the sex pot category and just left you there. So whatever you
Right.
are, be authentic and then be able to
Mhm.
stand on it and say, this is who I am. We have had a few
Right.
people that have done it. When they leaked
Yeah.
Eve's the sex tape out there, and then you found out her, Cardi, and a couple other people were like
Right.
strippers in a past life and stuff. It's nothing to
Yeah.
hide from. It's like
Right.
it's
Right.
there. It is the truth. However, let's get back to these bars. Let's get back to
Right.
Evolution being like right at the turn of the century. Evolution with production with Dr. Dre on there and Swiss Beats. Yeah,
Man,
you wasn't touching. Eve was Pitbull in a skirt, Queen of Philadelphia.
for
So
real.
it's not that your claiming sexuality, your being a soft side is a bad thing, but you don't
Right.
have to be overly masculine either, which I think that
Right.
hurts because some females will be like, well, I can't be sensual at all. I think you can come in like say a salt and pepper and just be like,
Right.
okay, nobody's gonna say salt and pepper was too much of either. They just own
Right.
their
Exactly.
space. Okay. See, we getting into it now, slowly easing in. We haven't gone to really cook the beef yet. We still at the
Oh yeah.
appetizer stage, but we're still on
Yeah.
starters. That being the
Mhm.
the case, let's move on here for some more real conversation. And I want to talk a
Mhm.
little bit about your beginnings because I know I wasn't there at the beginning, but I was there some time ago. Talk about your beginnings and how you came up in the game, how you kind of walked in the door, and we'll take an offshoot from that from there. But I just want you to speak on how you began your career.
Oh wow, that's awesome. I love telling this story right here. Um, so ah, I ended up moving to Atlanta about 1996, and I had my second daughter, Arian, and she was maybe about 6 months old. So that pushes us about like 1997, and I'm staying in Atlanta. Just moved down there, and this light skinned chick walked in with these pretty ass locks and stuff, and she see me pushing basket with my two girls. Darian's my oldest one, so we pushing the basket in Walmart. She looked at me and she's like, "Excuse me," because she's from New York. That's my girl, Mimi Johnson. What's up, Mimi? I
That
love her. She like,
sounds about right. Yep.
"Excuse me, can I talk to you for a second?" I'm like, "Yes, ma'am. What's up?" 'Cause I say yes, ma'am to everybody. That's just the countryside of me. I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." And she was like, "You ever thought about modeling?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have a little bit." She was like, "Your baby girl is just so pretty. Look at her, just face. She just all face. Well, here, you give me a call, and we'll do some talking and stuff like that. My name Mimi Johnson. How you doing?" And so fast forward, I link up with Mimi a few months later, and I ended up doing some fashion shows, and I did a lot of Bronner Brothers shows for Sisters Only down there. I've done a couple magazines, and so one day we were chilling over at the house, and I met her husband, Trub. She was staying in Stone Mountain at the time, and they was down up in the basement chilling and shit. So I was like, "That's what's up." So I go down there and chill with them, and I'm listening, and they rhyming, just a whole little freestyle session or whatever. So I'm vibing with everybody, and Trubs look at me like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." And he was like, I say, "Man, I can do that." He said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Yeah, I can do that shit." And he was like, "Well, Give me the first thing that come to your mind. It don't even matter who it is. And I believe it had to be some Busta Rhymes because I'm a big Busta Rhymes fan. and that's part of how the Spliff character was uh shaped. Because I'm a Busta Rhymes fan, MC Light, and all of them, and he was like, okay, and he was like, all right, well, we could do something. And then that's just what it was. I was just brave enough to go down into the basement with the dudes where they was all blowing uh green at and shit, and I was bold enough to speak up and say that I can do that too. I was the only female down there, and at the time, Mimi was the only female rhyming with the camp, and it's the Caustic camp at the time. And shit, that was the start right there. I spoke up.
Hmm.
That's what got me in the game. I spoke up. And from
Spoke it
then
down.
on, I started going to the studio with them, and started writing more. And at the time, my modeling name was Rain, because I needed something shorter. I didn't really have a nickname. My last name was Rainer at the time. So we was chilling in the studio, and he was like, "You good? You good?" I had spit a verse for him, and that I had worked on, and he liked it, and he was like, "I'm gonna change your name." He's like, "I'm gonna call you Spliph Stonian," and I was like, "Okay." He said, "Cause you smoking the shit out of that mic," and it felt good. It felt good because I really looked up to Trubs as a big brother. I didn't have a big brother. I didn't have any family in Atlanta at the time. All my family was back in Houston, and I was still pretty young. I was I say about 22, 22, 23, somewhere off up in there. And shit, that was the birth of Spliff.
We're gonna have to rename the town. I mean, I've always I would tell people the whole reason that I stopped watching the NFL is because the Houston Oilers moved to Tennessee and discovered there was no oil there. Just now you got the Titans. But for the longest time, like my daddy had several friends from back home. Shout out to, my Uncle Zeke Moore. He was a defensive back around the time, Amar Rashad and then was in the league,
Mhm.
Dean Joe Green and Franco
Right.
Harris and all them, the 70s. So I've been a
Yeah,
Houston
Campbell
Oilers
and shit.
fan. Like I was in kindergarten, like in '75, barely understanding the concept of the game. But I knew that was my
Right.
Uncle Zeke over there on the corner. And he had to make sure that people didn't get the ball. And if they did, he had to make them wish that they ain't want it. So
Right.
back then, but that's Houston. Now you telling your
Yeah.
story with the Spliff Stone. I'm like, welcome to Spliffston. It's something there. Something between the Stone and the Houston and the Spliff. Now here's another quick one. I'm actually gonna save this for another podcast because it's a dear story to me. But in
Right.
'99, I think just before we would have come across y'all in Caustic back in the day, we were over in Birmingham in the Civil Rights District. It was a citywide uh, music fest there, and they
Mhm.
had several stages. I want to say it was city stages, but maybe it was the Heritage Festival. That's what it was, Alabama Heritage Festival. We were
Mhm.
on the main stage as a feature act with Buster Rhymes. Like he was in the lineup behind us. Now, the
Right.
haters of the day would say, "Oh man, why don't y'all just go ahead and say you open?" And I say us. This is the group Fosnick. I was pretty much the
Right.
roadie manager, carried stuff. I wasn't a performer.
Right.
Told y'all I don't have the bars like that. But I was a member of the group because when it
You
came
could
time
if
to
you
write the
really put
checks
your
out for
mind to
studio
it.
time, I was there.
Right.
So we were there. I was stage side, and so we were getting ready to. We had actually just finished our show, And people were like, "How come you just say that y'all opened for them?" Well, we performed an hour for one thing. No opening act
Hmm.
performs for an hour. And if you're
Right.
thinking that order implies opening, well, us opening for Busta Rhymes means Michael McDonald opened for us. And I
Right.
don't
Because
think Mr.
y'all went
Doobie,
after him.
yeah,
After
that's
him.
right. I don't think Mr. Keep Forgetting Doobie Brother is an opening act for a regional Birmingham act Fosnick. So
Mm.
two fingers, pick which one I'm holding up for all of the haters back in the day. But I was
Mm.
on the side of the stage writing some notes, kind of trying to capture the moment. And this two pair of little tiny feet and sneakers was like right in my view. And I looked down and I saw the sneakers way inside of personal airspace. And I'm like, man, what is this? He don't need to back up and give me 3 feet. So I start training my eyes up like you do in the sitcom, slowly, slowly, slowly. Didn't have to go too far. And of all of the people, you mentioned Busta Rhymes as an influence, it was Spliff. Spliff Star was right there with his arms folded up, as geeked as you wanted. As you see him on stage, on TV, he just like
Yeah.
that. And he said,
Yeah.
Big Dog, you must be management, man. You up here writing. You on the stage. We about to tear this stage up. You need to pay attention. And I'm going
Right.
like, it felt so natural that I wasn't even starstruck. He just looked like, for
Right.
lack of better terms, a nigga from your block who is just like, you need to pay attention. And he just coming up here. He don't know me from Adam's house pet. And he come up telling
Right.
me to pay attention and put the he did everything but slap the book out of my hand and say we're about to have fun. And in truth, the show hadn't gone the whole way that I wanted it to, and I was a little bit upset. But because he took that time to make sure that I was going to be a part of the experience, I put my book down and I said, you know what? All right, I'm coming, Splip. Let's go. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
and it was like that. So that kind of energy I always remember there because he didn't have to do that. He's got bigger fish to fry. He got to go rock 10,000 people. But he still
Exactly.
like there's something I don't know if it's in y'all's future, but you Spliff and him Spliff, y'all need to meet. And I wouldn't even mind if both of y'all were like, Buster, who you gonna choose? I don't care. Yeah, I think that'd be tremendous. I might have to
That would
have
be
you back on when I
phenomenal.
tell the full story. I had to have you back on for that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'd love to meet them, man. I'd love to. But
Now,
Busta always gonna be my favorite. He's animated.
he is, and he's good people. For the limited interactions, I mean, it don't take much for somebody to show up as an asshole. So I'm always appreciative,
Right.
but it also doesn't take much for someone to be kind. I think the whole of
Exactly.
the O Jones Music Fest and what we're gathered together here trying to pull off is not
Hmm.
only are y'all uber talented, every one of the artists that have answered the call for me, but it's also that you guys are also uber cool. It's like
Hmm.
when you ain't gotta be. When you're that talented, you don't have to, but
Right.
because you are, I want to celebrate that and be like, you know what? These are not only good acts, they're good people. So that's
Hmm.
something here. Now, with that in mind, I want to give you a chance to speak to an out of body experience, so to speak. So let me set up the
Okay.
scenario. Think
Okay.
about if you were to leave yourself and you were
Hmm.
able to watch you walk into a room. Okay.
Okay.
So you're not you,
Okay.
you're observing you walk into a room. I got 3 questions. First question:
Okay.
what would be your first impression as an onlooker as you walked into the room?
My first impression would be she looks like somebody important.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Somebody important, like you don't know, but you feel that importance aura. Okay. Second
Yeah.
question.
I don't know who she is, but that's somebody. She look important. She
Okay.
look like she's somebody important.
Now, if you're sitting at a table with other people and you start hearing the whispers of folks who may have formed the same opinion, maybe a different opinion, and then
Hmm.
and you hear, who is that? What would you tell those people?
If I already knew who I was, or
Take either tack. I like that you just said someone important, but you could assume that you knew. Either way, what would you
Okay.
tell them?
I would tell them that um that's somebody that you might want to pay attention to.
Okay, there is an implied humility about the way that you answer these questions because others who I'm gonna ask the third question and I'm gonna loop back. I'm gonna tell you why that makes me giggle inside. Now after you, not you, but the you that is your avatar has done the thing and is
Hmm.
leaving, they leaving the room. What impression or lesson would you like to leave on those that were maybe sitting at that table whispering and buzzing?
Asking who I was, right?
Yeah. What the impression you'd want to leave with them?
I would want to leave them entertained and curious at the same time to find out who is that?
Interesting.
Who is that? Where did she come from? Who is that?
Your Yeah. The showbiz mantra, always leave them wanting more. Have you
Right.
you seen that movie that thing you do with Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember he had the group The Wonders and he told them at the county fair, their first big show, he says, you guys are gonna do one song and then I want you to
Mhm.
pull your microphones and your cables and run. You don't stick around. And the lead singer was like, but what if they want an encore or another song? He says, you pull those mics and you run. And
Right.
he understood, especially
Mhm.
in the beginning. You don't give them
Mhm.
everything to the point where they say, okay, we're done. Leave them wanting more.
Right.
So you
Is
nailed
that?
that.
Mhm. You
Now
you
let,
you leave
let me
them
loop around because the way that you answered the questions had a humility. Other people have answered that question and they talk that shit. Like they were like, you better recognize who this did. It would have been like Hulk Hogan was like, I am a real if you can smell with the rock. I mean, they was on some of that. And I said,
I
you know
mean,
what?
I
Mm-hmm.
I answered that way because there's always those doubters.
Sure, sure.
You know what I'm saying? There's always those doubters. And then you know how like your people will boost you up, and so it's that's just their people. They just saying that or what have you. It's a lot of closed-minded people out there, so it's still it still is important to embark that curiosity for them to want to know. You know?
Sure. I mean, it still spoke to the dual nature. I mean, I know that you hold highly to the Gemini sign, but there was a duality there, but it's actually duality in concert, because
uh,
on the one hand, you came in humble, but then the last
mhm.
question is what kind of impression you want to leave. And you would right there at the end, you were saying like it was a combination of the same question, like, who was that? It's like, all right, she did that. I ain't know, but I should know, and I want to know more. So it's
Right.
the humility, but it wasn't a shrinking. You know what I mean? It's like um I don't know, if you're LeBron James, then you don't go out presuming that you're gonna win the game. You go out
Right.
presuming that you work very hard and that you
Mhm.
plan to do everything possible, and then you also believe quietly. You don't have to brag if the game speaks for itself. And then by the time
Exactly.
you leave, you say like, the impression I want to leave is, what did we just get hit with, and where can I get some more?
Exactly. Being humble it plays a very, very key role, you know. Being humble has really got me a lot of places.
Sure.
Um, Being humble is got a lot of people listening, wanting to know what I'm doing and what I got to say. So, if you got it, I mean, to be on the for real side,
Yeah.
If you got it and you know you got it, you really ain't got to brag about it. Just be yourself, and
Mm.
people continue to love you.
If you got it, you ain't got to brag about it. That's some real
Just be
conversation.
yourself.
That's real
Yeah,
conversation. Okay.
yeah.
So now
You
I
really got to
want you.
brag about it. Just be
Mm.
it.
Now I want you to know that I not only
Mm.
admire you, you're a hero of mine. The one
Oh,
thing that is absolutely. Now here's the thing about it though. I think people get it screwed up. You know, you
okay.
watch enough Super Friends and Avengers and stuff like that, and you think that there's a lot that goes into being a hero. You know, the
Right.
only thing that's required of a hero across the board, the way you know someone has what it's going to take in any situation to be a hero, heroes step up. No
Mhm.
matter what they face, no matter the danger, no matter who's there or not there, if it falls
Mhm.
to them, they step up. A
Right.
firefighter steps into those boots, steps on the truck, steps onto
Mhm.
the scene once they arrive, hop out that truck, grab a hose, and runs into a burning building and up some
Mhm.
burning steps if necessary in the face of fear and trepidation. They just do it.
Right.
Now, I'm betting there was a bit of fear that you had to face and still might face, a little trepidation in your career. Stepping on that
Right.
stage over and over again has to have changed you, maybe even numbed you a little bit to it over time.
Right.
I got a three-part
Right.
question here because I want to talk about the evolution of Spliph Stonian over time. You and
Right.
your hero's journey is what we're going into now that we've got an idea of your start. We're going to take this journey with you. So let's talk
Right.
first about day one. Like when you stepped up the first time and on a stage and said, "All right, I'm finna rock." What was that like? Um, what just speak on to your experience on day one of your Splifstonian career.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to ask you something on that. Now, that's kind of like 2 day ones for me, right?
Okay.
There's the 1 day one when I was with my very first music family, Caustic
Okay.
Entertainment.
Okay.
And then there's the day one when I stepped out as Smithsonian Entertainment.
I want them both. Okay. Do the first one with Caustic because that's gonna be the first. But then yeah, go ahead and do the first with your solo joint because I think there's gonna be some good meat for both of them. So yeah, talk with the Caustic first.
Okay, so my day one, my first time touching the stage with Caustic Entertainment, it was it was fun. It was a whole lot of fun. I enjoyed myself. It was more like a vibe because we all connected. We were all on the same page. As far as when it was my turn to rock the mic, I was pretty amped up. I was pretty crunk. You know, um, I don't even remember feeling anything. I did feel a little butterflies because performing in front of strangers was new to me. It was new to me. So I had a little bit of butterflies, but once the music came on, it's like a switch clicked, and I just all the butterflies went away. They just all went away. Um, my first day as Spliff, Spliff Stonian Entertainment, it was a whole nother thing because my day one with Caustic Entertainment, I had my camp with me. I had the whole crew with me. Mimi, Eddie Kane, you know, Marlon. We had everybody was together, and I had that support that helped me not be so nervous. I just had the little butterflies, But stepping out the first time as Spliff was different because it was just Spliff, you know. Um, I had people there. It was like a couple people there that I knew. I believe it was some family that came with me. But as far as everybody else, it was different. It was mostly dudes as usual. Don't take that any specific kind of way. But it was always niggas. It was always niggas on the stage,
Yeah.
you know? And I just felt that day that I was gonna make a difference. I'm about to come out here and be about as hard as the rest of these motherfuckers that then came out this hole, you know. And I had the butterflies, but I had a different type of determination. Like y'all gonna listen to me. Y'all gonna listen to me. I'm not even a big person, so there was a little bit of intimidation. You know what I'm saying? Little short person complex. And to elaborate on the short person thing, those of you that's listening, that y'all know who I am, you've seen me before. I'm not tall. Okay, it's an optical illusion. It's a mirage. All right.
So you present very tall. I've seen you in person, and I keep
Yes.
thinking about it. Most of the times, I can't remember a time where I've stood next to you. I've stood next to Mimi a lot. I've stood next to,
Right.
I mean, rest in peace, but I stood next to Trouble Funk a good amount. But I haven't,
Right.
every
He's
time I
like
was
pretty
around
tall.
you, I was sitting. I think about it now. I was sitting. So, but the way that you walk, you got that Janet Jackson, walk from the rib cage walk and stuff. So it's like so that the combination of the slender and the walk, like, like you said, modeling. So you walk with like
Right.
some height to you, so I could see where people would be fooled there and stuff. Yeah.
my I'll tell the secret. The secret is my bottom part is long. I got long legs for a short person, so it
Ah.
makes me look like I'm tall, and then I'm thin. So I'm only
Hmm.
like 130. I'm like five
Hmm.
four, man. I'm not even touching 5'5". It's just the choice of clothes. You know, I'm not a big fan of super tight clothes.
Right.
But I like for my clothes to fit with me. So it's the choice of clothes and the choice of hair that makes me look way taller than what I really am. So, it's optical illusion. So
Okay. Yeah.
that first day, it went from butterflies to determination.
Interesting.
And when I stepped up that first day, I went all in. I told the DJ, don't start my music yet until I say, all right, DJ. And the DJ was DJ Swagger. What's up, Swagger? It was Diallo's in Houston. A-Sound, hold it down, my niggas. But it was Diallo's in Houston. It was DJ Swagger was DJ. And it was this one guy, this one artist. His name is C. Claim. He's an artist in Houston as well. And we used to eat Diallo's up. We used to go up there and tag team the fucking open mic competition.
Yeah.
Shoot. First and second place, we got that change and kept it moving. Come back next week, you know. So yeah, the first day with Caustic, it was kind of easy because I had my crew to back me up, give me confidence, and support. But that first day at Spliff, it was different. I felt like I needed to demand the attention that I needed because I wasn't showing a whole bunch of skin or none of that. I wasn't dropping it low and twerking it or nothing like that. My bottom booty wasn't out or some shit. You know. So I came out straight up. I just ran and just ate it up on day one.
It sounds like there's a channeling of energy flow. Um,
Yeah,
in a past life, good while ago now, I was a member of an organization, Toastmasters International.
I
I don't know
remember. I
if
hated it.
okay, yeah, they teach public speaking and leadership skills in a socialization mode. So you have
Mhm.
meetings with folks
Mhm.
that you come to know, but you get to practice the art of public speaking, of meeting
Right.
facilitation. You get small projects for the club done. You learn fundraising and stuff like it's a lot of stuff. But at the core, Toastmasters, like I propose a toast, that's what it was
Mhm.
all about. So then what
Right.
they said, the first speech that you give is called an icebreaker. The only
Mhm.
objective is to survive because most people, it's a quip. I don't know that anybody's done a full study on it, but if you just ask people their fears, then in general, people just off the cuff, they list the second fear is death. The first fear is public speaking. So people would rather
Wow.
die than give a speech. Basically, that's so that whole thing about the mic just making you nervous. I get that. But in your story, in the two first that you communicated day one was a channeling of your people being around you. You had a
Yeah.
concern about rapping in front of strangers and moving from that
Yeah.
model space into a full performer space. But your people
Right.
were around you, they got you. So they channeled
Right.
energy, positivity into you, and you fed it into the crowd and had fun. There was
Right.
trepidation there, but it got overridden by that almost like a Dragon Ball Z power up, and then you just put that Kamehame out there, like
Right.
that. So it was like that was that. But then your second verse as Spliph Stonian as a solo, when there's nobody
Mhm.
else around the channel, that's when you really got to go Goku and look within yourself and be like,
Mhm.
maybe they,
Exactly.
before you even begin, let me just, oh, Kame, Kame. Like you got to generate it. And then you got to tell them, yo, get ready for what I'm about to do to you. And you almost have to talk yourself into it. But there's still
Right.
energy there. And then you release it. I say all that to say, going back to my Toastmasters experience, that we were taught, we were trained when we gave the speech, that the butterflies never go away. What you
They
have to do
don't.
is make them line up and fly in formation. You want to
Right.
be nervous enough to care so that you give a good show and make it worthwhile for those people in front of you. But at the same time, you don't want it to paralyze you. So you take your energy, you channel your energy, and you shoot it out to the crowd like a beam. And I think that's
Mhm.
the commonality. You had energy given to you the first time. The second time, you generated it and you gave it to the audience and stuff. So,
Mhm.
yeah, superhero stuff.
Right.
Now, that was day one. I want to circle on back up and go to spiral up to day 1001. So we're talking a little over 3 years into the game. And now we'll just go ahead and do the Spliff Stonian one there, because
Okay.
you're a veteran now. So talk to, by the time that you've gotten the initial, I don't know if I can do this. I'm a vet, maybe still a little nervous, but what's that year 3.5 looking like at day 1001?
Okay. So day 1001, it was a whole nother story. Wow. It was actually pretty amazing. Day 1001 was a little bit after I linked up with Sherelle Jack. What's up, Miss Trigger, from Southside Live Click. And at that point, when I got the mic and it was time to step up on the stage, I still had the butterflies. The butterflies don't go away. If anybody ever says, oh, it's just you'll get used to it. You do, but you don't. It's always that adrenaline. It don't necessarily be by 1001. It wasn't even nervousness. It was more so adrenaline of just being so crunk and so ready. Because my thing when I'm on stage is to entertain people and have fun doing it. So day 1001, I believe I was doing the show at E2 Ultra Lounge, and it was a really really good show. And I I had Trubs on stage with me. Real talk. no lie, no bullshit. I've performed at this club several times before, lights on, lights off, bright colored clothes, dark clothes. And on this particular day, I had wings. And it's on video footage. It's on pictures. Scrubs was on stage with me on day 1001. And at that point, I knew that he was always on stage with me. He actually showed himself that time. And the butterflies was actually adrenaline. And I just took it over. I just took it over. Checked the mic. I was started at that point. I was rhyming as I'm coming up the stage. I'm spitting bars, a cappella, before I even much get fully up on the stage. At that I was able to get that attention that I know I had to demand on day one at Spliph Stonian Entertainment for people to pay attention to me. I had gained that respect. That once she come in and she get that mic in her hand, oh, okay, she about to do some shit. We gonna have to listen to this. I can't wait. That's
Folks,
where I was, the 1001.
folks, just to backfill some knowledge here, because I don't know that it's totally clear, but by the time Spliff is making reference to Trouble being on stage with her, Trouble Funk had by that time passed away. So
Yes,
then,
indeed.
yeah,
Let me
so
clarify.
go
Let
right
me
ahead.
clarify. Um, Rest in peace, big brother. Trouble Funk is Mimi's husband, Mimi Johnson. That's the Caustic Entertainment, Caustic Camp that I had linked up with in late '97, early '98. And Trubs passed away in 2002. And he was a mentor of mine. I looked up to him a lot because his vocabulary was immaculate, guys. I mean, this man he pretty much knew the Webster's dictionary front and back. Like no bullshit, no joke, no none of that. And he was really the one. Mimi gave me a lot of vocal coaching as far as singing is concerned. Um, I'm not a really, really big singer, but if you just let me love and take care of you, I could bust that shit out too. But anyway, Chubbs was Chubbs was he is the one that molded Spliff. So when I mention Chubbs is a big part of Spliff. Whenever I go on stage, I rest in peace, Trouble Funk. I always perform one of his songs all the time, and it's Urban Commando. So for
Was
those of
it
you
that's
that didn't
right?
know, right, right. So for those of you that don't know, Trubs was my mentor, my big brother, Mimi's husband, and we lost him way too soon in 2002. And just a fast recap, we lost him in 2002, and by my day 1001 as a solo artist, Spliph Stonian Entertainment, he was on stage with me. And
Mm,
I'm pretty sure that he was already with me when I had the mic coming down from the DJ booth, spitting bars, walking my way up to the stage. And one of the assistants with Southside Live Click, her name is Marquisa. What's up, sweet pea? She was filming it for me. And man, she was filming it for me, and she pulled me to the side. We normally network outside in the parking lot after all of the little shows and everything. And she pulled me to the side and she was like, "Did you see? I gotta show you something." And I'm like, "What? What's up?" I'm feeling good. Got my blunt in my hand, my spliff, everything. I'm like, "What's up? What's going on?" And she showed me the picture, and I'm like, is there something wrong with, is your camera messed up?" She's like, "No, my camera is fine. You got wings, nigga." I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, "Nah, nah, 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 wait." am I seeing this right? I took my glasses off and cleaned them hoes. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
thought I
me
had a couple of
too.
fingerprint smudges or some shit. I'm just fucking seeing things. But she was like, no. So she went to the video and she showed me the video footage, and sure enough, I had wings, my nigga. It is. I'm gonna send you the picture. Okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
send you the picture. I had fucking wings, bro. They were long and pointy. They were big and pointy at the top, and they were kind of like short, not short, but kind of like not really really wide, but they were pointy. It's like as if they were just folded, sitting on my back. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it looked at the bottom of my shirt. And then it's another part where I turn a little bit, and it's man, I had like a little set of wings. You could see it. My shirt was white, but I wore a white shirt at that club before with the lights on, and I did not glow like that. My shoes were pink. The shit was I was glowing coming out of my shoes, my coming out of my socks. It was just fucking amazing. That was my 1001.
Not a
It was
bad
like
1001. And rest in
I've
peace, brother.
never seen anything like that before in my life. And honestly, I a part of that performance, I real live did not remember. Like I think I might have like blacked out a little bit. And sometimes when people, yeah, some people are like, oh, I don't know, I just blacked out. I don't remember. Shut up, nigga, you lying. But you know they wasn't blacked out. But I feel that I probably, ain't no probably, I zoned out that night, and I feel that he was actually, you know what I'm saying, with me. I was all 323. And when I say 323, that's his birthday.
Mm,
March 23rd is Trub's birthday. So 323 is real significant to me. Very, very significant to Mimi, of course, because that's
of
her
course.
that's her husband.
Of course.
So yeah, 323 is the thing. And he that night that night was wild. He carried me across that stage. He was coming out of my freaking pores.
Well, I
That
always remember that he did the hook for Tony Soprano, the song that
that's
y'all did.
normal.
Tell me
Like
that
11
did
on
you do Tony Soprano
date.
that night?
I think I did. I believe I
And
did.
I believe that was it then. There's your channeling right
I
there.
believe I did.
Pass the
I
ammo
believe I
right
did.
there.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I did. Urban Commando.
Yeah, oh, definitely Urban Commando, right.
I'm pretty sure I did Urban Commando that night. And Tony Soprano. I might have did It All Comes Down the Dough because I was just building up my solo songs. So I would perform Trub's songs. You know, I would perform Caustic Entertainment songs, and I would always give big ups to Trubs. So my
Gotcha.
fans that followed me from day one at Spliph Stonian Entertainment, they already know what songs aren't mine. You know what I'm saying? They know who Trubs is.
Yes.
They know he wrote Urban Commando. They know the story of It's All to the Good, my nigga. You ain't got to get on stage. I'll make sure your music get out there. That's a promise I made to him at his funeral as well. I got you, my nigga. I'm gonna get your music out there some kind of way.
So it
So,
seems like even though we're saying that, you stepped out and you channeled the energy on your own, there was family
hmm
still there, for your
yes,
your
in a sense, yeah. But I didn't find out till later.
okay, yeah, that's true. This is your 1001 there and stuff. So that's a different kind of
Right,
escort. Well, now if
right. Cause yeah, I had built a split following, and I had a couple of singles of mine that I had wrote. So I had built a split following. So I had supporters. I had supporters there,
yeah,
but I didn't find out that Trubs was there with me until after everything was all said and done, and we're in the parking lot networking.
And you see
You
the
know,
wings. Okay.
yeah. And then Sweet Pea comes and shows me the footage. It was Sweet Pea and it was Angel. Angel is uh Smooth One Entertainment, Be Smooth, which is
Okay.
another artist in Houston that I mentor. She's his husband,
Okay.
his wife. Bumble mouth. I think I might need to light my sweet back. She's his wife, and those two ladies came to me because I'm assuming that at the time when I was talking with everyone and I kind of saw them out my peripheral worked like a mug. I see you and I ain't even directly looking at you.
Yeah.
So my babies think I got eyeballs in the back of my head. Like one of my twins literally was digging in my locks to see if I got an eyeball back there.
Yeah.
But but I could see those two, talking and looking at the phone and stuff like that. So they both came to me and showed me the footage. So you were right. You were right in a sense. I did have family there,
Yeah.
but I didn't find out until it was all said and done.
Mm. Well, now
Yeah.
that covers your 3 years in, 3.5 years or so in for your day 1001. I want to cap off our journey over the hero's journey and your evolution, talking about like last week, like like even like the last
Last
time that
time
you
I
stepped.
took the mic.
Exactly. Step to the mic. Tell me something about that because we're looking at the changes over time. The way that you're channeling energies, your level of comfort, your artistic maturity, what you even think about and reminisce about. Like what about that experience now, as of like the last time you stepped on stage, how are you existing as an artist and moving through your hero's journey?
Now stepping on stage is it's like a breeze now. I still get the butterfly. So like I said before, the only difference is not necessarily nervousness. It's more so adrenaline at that point because I've had my husband told me before that I've like damn near held a whole fucking concert in my sleep. So,
Mm.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he was probably sitting next to me blowing one like, yeah, baby, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
He
gonna
was
tell you
doing
the
your
truth. It's my
overdubs.
fault, but I fucked with it too. You know what I'm saying? He was probably rhyming with me while I was fucking asleep,
Exactly. He was
probably
doing your
drooling out
overdub.
the side of my face. Drooling, talking about I just want to get you to the table, nigga. You know. Um
You just lean in
it's
closer, you spit a bar, he go like,
you know what I'm saying? He doing ad libs and shit. Uh
exactly.
Nowadays it's more so like this is what this is one of the main things I was made to do. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? When it's this music thing, this is me. This is what I do. And it's like when I grab the mic and get ready to go on stage now, it's like somebody dropping me in the kitchen and be like, say, can you cook dinner for me?
how about that? So I think your
And
evolution. Mm,
if you cook, if you know how to cook, even if the only thing you know how to do is fry chicken, if somebody puts you in the kitchen and be like, look, everything you need is right here. I just need you to cook some dinner.
that's right.
You gonna do what you do. You gonna
That's
just gonna
right.
start cooking, right?
That's right.
So that's how I am now. When they give me the microphone and they say my name, da, 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 Spliph Stonian Entertainment, and I come out and it's like I'm talking to you right now. Hey, what's going down? Whatever city I am in, H down, hold it down. I'm from Houston. It's your girl Splip, aka Spliph Stonian Entertainment, aka Black Harley in the building. What's happening? Y'all niggas want to hear some music? It's a whole nother thing. Shoot, cornrow kitty with a K, get your motherfucking hair done. Run that shit, DJ. Yeah. The
I
shit
mean,
they smell like butter now.
it is. I mean, but it was that kind of uh thinking in terms of sort tempering of the sword over time. You just
Yeah.
put it in the furnace, pull it out, put it in the cold water, hammer it, put it back in the furnace, pull it out, and it's just getting better, better, sharper, sharper, more seasoned as you're going along. That first day one, lot of butterflies, but a lot of family. Channel the energy and do it. You step up.
Hmm.
Day
Yeah.
1001, you still butterflies. Maybe they're fewer, maybe they're in tighter formation, but fam is still there, it turns out, but they're not intervening. This is yours, and you claim it. And then now it's effortless. It's not effortless. It just looks that way, but there's an
Mm,
assurance that comes that might not have
right.
quite been there that way, this way before, but this is what I was meant to do. And in that
And
space, it's not necessarily that the nerves go away. You just say, like, I imagine it's if you're a paratrooper, in the army or something, you're still jumping out of a plane that is moving at escape velocity far enough to where if
hmm,
you fail, you won't remember the fall. But at the same
right.
time, you say, like, okay, this is the mission. This is what I do. And when that red light go on, it's go time. And you just jump.
And see, to elaborate a little bit more on that, by day 1001, I was well into using music for therapy. Um,
Ah, yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
right. So, you know, a little personal information, just a little bit.
Okay.
When I was 7, I was hit head on by a car. So I kind of feel like I'm supposed to be here because there was a couple of times that I wasn't supposed to be here, and I got hit head on by that car. So sometimes my elevator gets stuck on the third floor, and um, it ended up I have a temper problem. I have a temper problem, and so a lot of times it took a really long time for me to control my bipolar, because I'll tear some shit up. I get real destructive, and with me having young ladies, I can't be acting like that around my little people.
Right.
You know, they look up to me as a woman, as their mom, just as an adult, period, on what to do and what not to do. So by 1001, I was well off up into putting my emotions, things that was pissing me off, things that made me happy, everything into my music. And whenever I would feel tensed up, stressed out, like I just want to tear some shit up, somebody that really, really pushed me to the brink, I would go to an open mic. I would go hit a stage somewhere. And I get on this stage and I just put it all out
Okay.
in that microphone. I just give all that shit to the people that's listening. And it makes for a really, really good show. And I feel a hell of a lot better. I go back home and I don't want to tear shit up.
Which
So
is a
that
good thing.
that helps with that aided in my growth, my progression from my day one to how I approach the mic now. Uh, using using it as therapy helped me a lot. Put it like that, for me to be able to grow like that, because and then I also look at my footage. I don't look at it the same night. I go back and look at it as if I was supposed to be at the show watching it and I missed it and somebody tagged me in the video.
So evolution, growth, perfecting a craft, music therapy, some real
Yeah,
conversation.
for sure.
Okay. Now, let me move on here because we need some more real conversation here. And I'm gonna build on this hero's journey here because there's something else important about a hero's journey we need to touch on as a
Hmm.
paradigm. I think, and you may well agree, that the so-called villains that heroes
Hmm.
like yourself face are often born and they grow within. Heroes have to
Hmm.
face down inner monsters,
Right.
especially the monster of, say, imposter syndrome. But there are
Hmm.
things like you even mentioned wrestling with mental illness. But there are things that
Right.
rob you of life and spirit, and most important, time. You got
Right.
delayed action saying, I don't know that I can or I don't know that I should. You got regret and mourning. Once you get started, you say, you know what? I should have started this 10 years ago. But you know,
Right.
those inner demons that are speaking that evil to your inner soul and you believe in it is the stuff. It's not even a monster outside. It's not like a pit bull chawing at you. It's on the
Hmm.
inside that's holding you up, that's robbing you of your life. Given that as a backdrop, and you already kind of started touching on it, but how
Hmm.
do you fight your supervillains? And what advice might you have for us, or maybe even your younger self? That us, the fans, like, speak to your experiences, how you fight, and how you
Hmm.
some advice that you might impart on the rest of the world.
Always tell yourself you can. Don't ever say you can't. That's everybody's biggest inner monster or inner demon is doubting themselves. And that's how I fought my supervillain. And my villain, um, ironically, her name is Harley. And I just turned her into into an alter ego in one of my songs. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all listening is like, oh, that's so motherfucking cliche. You know what I'm saying? That's like that's like Nicki Minaj being Roman and blah 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 blah. Okay, well I can't speak for her because I don't know what her mental clarity is, you know. So hey, she could really have issues, or it could be just for entertainment purposes. But mine is real life shit, and I would have to continue to tell quote unquote her that I can. I I feel that that's what holds a lot of people back, and I feel that that is one of the best pieces of advice that I could give to anybody, no matter what it is you want to do, you thinking about doing, you trying to do, at least you trying, and just don't give up. Don't say you can't. Always tell yourself that you can.
That's good stuff. That's real conversation. I mean, I've always believed too. Why not believe the affirm the positive, because the negative will take care of itself. Back in the
Exactly.
day
Because
when
if
I
you don't
actually
believe in
had.
yourself,
Mhm.
yeah, if you don't believe in yourself, who will?
Well, yeah, but even more so than that, if you can't muster a positive outlook, just think about the futility of thinking negative to start.
Right.
It is funny that I did have a old boss, a mentor of mine in the corporate world when I first moved over here back in '98. He practiced
Right.
as a life philosophy, dogged pessimism. He was always negative about whatever he was facing. And it was funny because he always presented as a sad sack, but I think he really would have been a good comedian. Like gosh, what's the dude that played Munch on Law and Order SVU? Gosh, Richard Belzer. Richard
Right. You
Belzer
talking
was
about
that type of comedian where, or Lewis Black, like, you don't, you're funny because you're either very angry or very sad about what you think the outcome will be, and people are laughing. That's kind of what, my boss Steve was like back in the day. But he says, Oscar, there's a reason I do that. This is because if I assume the negative will happen, then either I can say that I was right when it turns out bad, or I'm pleasantly surprised when it turns out good. Now, we'd have a chuckle about that, but my inner dialogue is exactly the opposite. 'Cause why would I start with the negative? If, back in the
Mhm.
time when I actually had the needs to do it, and I fancied myself thinking that I could do something with basketballs. I've
Mm.
never been able to slam dunk. I got like a half inch vertical on my best day. But if I go out on the court and say I can't slam dunk the ball, well, the game is over. The thing about it, gravity, physical capability, any number of things, the opposing team, any number of things will play out that will make sure that if I'm not meant to slam dunk a basketball, I won't. So why do I need to start out helping that out? Why don't I go
Mhm.
out there and say, I'm going to slam it and charge the rim? Because the worst that could happen is the base case of negativity. A better example that saves my kneecaps and probably everybody else who's up with 50 some odd years old like myself. I remember asking the girl to dance. That is a pivotal thing that I don't think we do nowadays enough. But if you're like middle school, high school, and you got the pretty girl over there and she never danced with me, well, she certainly won't if you don't go ask. But if everybody sees
Mm.
the pretty girl and everybody says she wouldn't dance with me, the pretty girl is lonely and she's sitting up there with tight shoes with no reason, and you're sitting over there with regret with no reason. The one person, maybe the class clown, might not be all that much of a looker, but he walked over and he asked. They said, "Man, how did you pull her?" I had the audacity
Mm.
of hope. Same thing that Barack Obama had before he ran for president. Why not? So then you going after whatever you're supposed to be doing, like you've grown into, you speak to
Mhm.
that imposter, that thing on the inside that's saying you don't deserve to be here. There's
Mm.
nobody telling you that except for that demon on the inside. And you tell that demon,
Exactly.
shut up, and you go do it anyway. If you're not supposed to
Exactly.
be there, you won't be. But if you are,
Right.
oh, you get to dance in their face. In your face,
Mhm.
demon. I feel
Exactly.
that is some good wisdom. Okay,
Yeah.
so now tell yourself, in the words of Spliff, that you can. When that demon says you
Exactly.
can't, tell them that you can. That's for everybody. That's real
Yeah. You
conversation.
can.
Now,
You
we've been
can.
talking that hero talk, and I'm going to kind of move it into the spiritual realm, if that's where you align. But you'll see in the way that I pose this next question, it's not something that you're trapped into. This is just me.
Right.
My mom is my superhero. So
Mhm.
you're my hero. Mama was my superhero.
Mhm.
I'm compelled to share her verse. She
Okay.
ruminated on the first part of a Bible verse. I thought it was the whole verse, but it actually is
Mhm.
just the first part. It's Psalm
Right.
46:10. I'll read the New International Version because that has a few less of the old English hither and bonds, and you can actually understand
Mhm.
what the world is saying. The
Right.
phrasing starts, "Be still and know that I am God." But she would
Mhm.
ruminate on that thing and break it all the way down.
Mhm.
She would squeeze every bit of wisdom out of that statement by chopping off pieces of the phrasing
Mhm.
and taking the bits of wisdom that each part. There's not one wasted
Yeah.
word in that phrasing. Be still and know that I am God is blessed assurance. You take that whole
Mhm.
portion and say, like, oh, God got it. But then if you chop
Mhm.
it and say, be still and know that I am. Anybody who reads Old Testament knows that, when I think it was Moses went to Pharaoh,
Mhm.
he says,
Yep.
it is I am who sent me, the great I am. God
Right.
told him to say, call me I
Yeah.
am. So the I am is the one that sent me. So he is everything that is. He is all.
Mhm.
Seek him. Don't worry about the
Mhm.
rest. Then chop off that
Exactly.
other part and say, be still and know. Everything to know is of him and from him. So just be still and know. Then be still. Don't be too anxious. Don't be too
Mhm.
angry. Don't be too
Mhm.
anything. Just be
Mhm.
still. Take a breath. Take a beat.
Mhm.
Meditate. And then
Mhm.
finally, sometimes there are problems that are so intractable that all you can do is endure. You come up
Yeah.
against a storm and say, you know what, or an earthquake. Earthquake happens, they say, hang on. Hang on to what? The entire earth
Right.
moving. Yeah.
Everything
So
falling down.
yeah, but even in that moment, The way that you respond to it is your choice. You go and get up
Mm,
under something sturdy. You hang on to what you
mhm.
can hang on till it don't move. If you need to, just bounce around, but you just be. And in that moment, you're still at peace. You just be.
Mhm.
She broke all of that down consistently. I didn't really repeat it to myself as much when she was here with us. But now that she's gone, I see that as some ultimate wisdom. So now I put it to you. Maybe that verse, maybe there's a verse of yours that you have from this text, from the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Torah. Uh, I don't know. Maybe it's a bar that you wrote. Maybe it's some Trouble Funk wrote. Whatever. Is there some saying, some scripture, some etching that you draw inspiration, knowledge, place your faith in that you would share with us?
um, really, the only scripture and saying that is my favorite is this too shall pass.
Absolutely.
This too shall pass. Sickness, financial issue, domestic argument, or whatever. You know, trouble don't last always, so this too shall pass. Be patient.
Endurance. Yeah.
Yep. Be patient. Keep your faith strong, and everything gonna be okay. That's my interpretation of this too shall pass. Keep your faith strong. Be
Absolutely.
patient, and everything will be okay.
It gives you a toughness, like it gives you a permission to endure and be tough, even though you don't think you got it. It's like, you know what?
Mhm.
It's gonna pass. So if you don't think you're so tough, just hang on another second. Hang on another second. Hang on another second.
Mhm.
It's gonna go away. All you have to do is
Right.
endure. Now, I tell you what's really dope that somebody pointed. I wished I could remember what individual put this seed in my brain, but it never left, and I've seen it show up over and over again. But every time the wisdom shows up, it's already something that I know. So somebody had to plant it there before. To expand on what you were saying, this too shall pass. Someone,
Mhm.
uh, someone told me nothing very, very good or very, very bad lasts for very, very long. Now, the reason that I
Mhm.
make that that distinction is because we've been talking on the get through the bad side to get to the upside. That
Right.
humility that is also a hallmark of your career from our earlier discussion also lets
Mhm.
you know that even if stuff is really, really good, hey, chill out. Don't do your touchdown dance. And say hunk around, head on a swivel, because it ain't always gonna be sweet. So if you
Mhm.
thinking I got that platinum record, so I ain't got to do no more work. I don't have to be about my bars. I don't have to get in the studio. I don't have to mind my business. Yes, you do.
Right.
You come across a
Yes, you do.
promoter, an accountant,
Mhm.
a friend that you thought was a friend and stuff, that let out some kind of footage on you, any number of things. So it's like if it's really, really good, hey, I'm not saying be paranoid, but always remember,
Right.
stay humble. Stay humble and remember your
Right.
source. If it's really, really
Exactly.
bad, endure and remember your source. So I think that what you were saying, this too shall pass. If it's real
Mhm.
good, you say, you know what? I'm happy, but I'm not overly geek because I know it ain't always like this, but I'm gonna appreciate this now. Then if it's really,
Exactly.
really hard, you say, hey, cheer up. It's not gonna always be
Mm.
like so. It's double edged. You see?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Word. Word. Okay. Real conversation here. See the bars. Now we got the dessert done. Got the appetizers. We got the snacks. We're gonna get to
Mhm.
some meat, center cut
Okay.
steak. Now, I'm thinking of this whole thing as a meal, like a paradigm, like almost like a banquet table. Once you
Right.
stepped up to a table, and it could very well be, you a businesswoman several times over. So it could be a table that you built. But once you
Right.
step up to the table, whatever it is, and you take your seat. Now, let's
Mhm.
talk about that for a bit. And I got four pieces here that I want to kind of address. Once you step up to the table, you do four things. The first thing that you do is you claim your space. Like you might see a name tag or something, or maybe you don't. You just see a place you want to sit, but you claim your space. Speak to that for a moment. How do you step to your table and claim your space?
By being original.
Mm,
By being original.
okay,
Um, my flow,
okay,
my fashion sense, you know, it's it's all original. That's how I claimed my space. I stayed original, true to myself. I wasn't trying to fit in with everybody else. So, is you know, take the table is like the freeway. I made my own lane.
okay. Now, I know that it was a concern back before the turn of the century, with bootleggers and stuff like that. At least that's the story they sold us. That you would
Right.
record something and either some biting MC or something would take your style and come out with it, or some bootlegger would come up with an offshoot of what you did, get a hold of a studio copy and put it out. But
Mm-hmm.
it's original. Certainly was your original, but someone made a copy.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays we got a bigger, scarier beast that's only getting better, and we got the AI to where
Right.
people can like take a sample of your voice and make it
Mm-hmm.
sound like, you know what, she actually rapped this. Not only that, they can extrapolate something that you never said and say, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Spliff is rhyming this right here. You'd be like, I didn't say that. Does that concern you? Because you want to be original, but there's so many people who look like they
Mm-hmm.
want to take your essence, your originality, and make it their own. Does that
Right.
concern you? Have you thought anything about that? Or, I mean, and it's okay if you haven't because it scares me.
It is kind of scary to think at but at the same time, it's only one me.
There you go.
Can't nobody be me. They can
You,
they can try, and for those of you that's listening, it's not a big headed type thing, but even with you, there's only one Oscar. You know what I'm saying?
I
It's only
receive.
one. So they can try, you know, they
I
can
think.
try, but it doesn't worry me. I encourage for them to possibly peep out the same path that I chose to go as
Right.
far as how I handle things. I encourage it. Try and, hey, why don't you do it like this?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
no, it's not a worry at all. Because can't nobody be Splif. There's only one motherfucker Splif.
I thought when you
And
said
that's Splif.
encourage, I thought you were going a total other direction. Like I dare somebody to try to be split. I thought you was
I
going
mean,
there.
nah. I mean, shoot. You know, um, it's impossible.
That's right.
It's impossible. I mean, they could try, just like comedians do impersonations all the time. They sound like them, but they don't look like them. You know.
150% agree that, and I think that the thing that's going to become more and more important when you hit the nail on the head with originality, surprisingly,
Mhm.
I don't think anybody has answered that question that way. There's so again, you have your own offshoot, but here's why it's so important. It's something that years ago when we did our talk shows back in '08, I think, uh, that we encourage people. The live performance is where it's at.
Yeah, it
Anything
is.
that is original by itself, you don't have to even worry about copywriting because as soon as you put it on a fixed format, like on YouTube or something, and people go
Yeah.
look at it, at that point, other folks can copy it, distribute it, repackage it, throw new music under it. Sure, they can do that. But the one thing that is going to be uh, duplication biting proof, the next live performance. If you are uniquely split every time you step on the stage until they come up with a split bot, that can
Right.
duplicate everything. They don't get you. And so then we're going
Right.
to kind of go back to sort of a caveman time where folks are, flaws and all, are just going to want something original. We
Mhm.
see those ads now where they have President Biden supposedly talking about $6,000 in benefits that you can get, and you can tell it's not him.
That
But
shit ain't real.
what if it becomes so good that you think it is President Biden? Now it's going to be you
Right.
using your noodle. Why would President Biden talk to me about a $6,000 benefit when he should be over there in China negotiating trade deals? So you're going to use your
Right.
common sense and then you say, okay, where can I go see the president? Oh, wait a
Right.
minute. He's going to be at the State of the Union or he's going to be down in Mobile, Alabama on the campaign trail. And it's not going to be perfect. It's like watching somebody freestyling and they stumble and they go,
Right.
I rip an MC in half like like two parts. At one time we'd say, ha ha, but now we're gonna be clamoring for that. Say, you know what? That's a human being. That is an
Right.
original doing an original thing. And I think we're coming back around to where if you have the courage, if you make those butterflies, if you have and you step up like a hero and you say, you know
Mhm.
what, I'm scared, I'm gonna do it scared, I'm gonna do it original because the one thing
Mhm.
I have to offer is the one thing that is most important, originality.
Mhm.
It's gonna be me, authentic.
Right.
So yeah, I think you nailed something there. Okay,
I
so be
feel it.
original. The short answer, be original. That's how you claim your space. Second,
Mhm.
when you sat down at that table and you cleared your space, thinking back to when we talk about the banquet setup, and you got the salads, you got the desserts and everything.
Mhm.
Certainly, and too many forks, at least for me, too many forks, too many spoons. I start moving stuff out the way. I start, like arranging things. So
Right.
you clean up, arrange stuff like to make it yours and show that you care. So in clearing your space, you sat down, you say, I'm an original, that's my seat, excuse me. Once you get there, how do you go about clearing your space? So now you kind of are signaling to people, I've claimed this space, now it's mine. How do you go about signaling and letting other folks know this is my space?
You stay strong about it.
Okay.
Stay strong about it. Put your foot down.
Mm,
You got to put your foot down. Be real headstrong about it, and not only talk the talk, but you got to walk the walk too.
interesting. Here's an aside. Um, when you are staying headstrong about a thing, is this
Hmm.
something that you would sit down and tell somebody, this is my space? Or would it be something that when you're sitting there and someone else comes and tries to claim your seat, you say, oh no, you're mistaken. This is my space. That said, do you start with a declaration or are you waiting with a defensive statement where you're talking about, you know, like claiming your space? Which one do you think it's more of?
Um, Not more so on the defensive side, but just more the word I'm looking for. Hmm. Wow, I can't think of that word. I got words from jumping around in my head all damn day. I
I
got
feel
like pieces of verses and different tablets all around the house, and I just can't think of
mm,
this one word. Um, brain fart, but it's hmm,
so not being defensive.
not
You
being defensive, but confident.
okay. So
That's
you
the
don't have
word
to
I was thinking.
argue about what is.
Right.
Got
I
it.
I know this my spot, and I'm just gonna show you this my spot. I'm not gonna be up on the defense. because you never know. I might be batting down somebody that might be able to make my space stand out even more.
Interesting. I mean, I think that when you take an emboldened stance that isn't loud but is confident, it's almost like you give other people permission to do the same. I think that's that quote from Marianne Williamson. You know, who are you to be powerful, bold, beautiful? I remember Nelson Mandela used it in his inauguration speech, but it was from Marianne
Right.
Williamson from her book. But it's basically like, the world isn't served by you shrinking from the light, and your courage to stand boldly and shine gives other people their courage to do the same. So you ain't got to be
Exactly.
all rah rah like this my space, get back. You just be like, you in my spot, and you go no, and then someone else who might have been approached in that same way says, well, if they come here, I mean, it's plenty of other seats. I'll just get up. Like, no, you already put your butt in that seat. You already put the sugar in
Exactly.
the tea the way that you like it. You've already moved the salad or claimed another
Exactly.
salad that nobody. Yeah, this is your space. You don't have to
You
fight.
already touched that fork, so why
Yeah,
move?
you already. Yeah, you licked
You
the
know what I'm
fork.
saying? You
Right.
already sipped that water, so why move?
It's as easy as that. I think a lot of your answers have an ease about them, Spliff. Like I don't know why I'm pushing you to be. You know what? It's the word caustic. That's what it is. It's all caustic. It's just me wanting you to
I,
spit some fire at somebody. And somebody's gonna look up the word caustic and because Mimi had to tell me what caustic was there and stuff.
yes, it's a corrosive material.
Exactly. So
It
I'm
will,
like, yeah, see,
it
she
will
gonna burn
burn
them
you.
up. And all of your answers are just like, it is what it is. What we
Well,
arguing
see,
for?
I mean, it's like I've taken a nonchalant, not that rude nonchalant,
Hmm.
but I've taken a somewhat nonchalant look upon life and a whole bunch of things, meaning like, okay, so what are we gonna do? Meaning I'm not finna stress over it. Can we fix it or not? You know, if we can't fix it, then okay, we just need to let it go and just move on. I hate it happened like that, but it ain't nothing we can do. You know.
You have a
But
zen
on the
about
other
your.
hand, it's,
There's a
huh?
zen about your responses. It's kind of like Hua Chang Kang on Kung Fu the series. It's like he's the only person. I
I
don't know
used
if
to
you ever
watch
remember
that.
that show, but they had
I
a
used to watch that.
they had a reboot in the 90s, and like the
Yeah.
people usually if you do some version of martial arts, there's a whole bunch of hollering and stiff stances and strikes and
Right.
stuff. Yeah, like you have to have some aggression. His was
That's like
always
the difference
it's
between kung fu and tai chi.
that's right. That's right. It was kung
Most
fu.
people, it's like kung fu. I'm more like tai chi.
Well, the thing about it that I learned, I think Jackie Chan mentioned it, but there's some other practitioners that I know. Kung Fu is just a word for human achievement. The thing that we
Right.
call Kung Fu is, I think it's called Warshaw. The Warshaw is the fighting, but you could have like Kung
Right.
Fu in the kitchen and just be
Right.
really. So it's a way that you go. That movie, Karate Kid with Jackie
Yeah.
Chan and Will Smith boy. That
Yeah.
version.
Jade.
Yeah, when he did instead of the wax on, wax off, it was like the pick up the jacket thing. And
Right.
he when he had his Mr. Miyagi moment, he said Kung Fu is
Mhm.
in everything we do. The way that you pick up
Right.
the jacket, the way you put on the
Right.
jacket, the way we
Right.
treat people. So
Right.
it's like everything that you do, if there's a Zen. So I think that, and someone else described Kung Fu as the crane defending its nest against the tiger. So if you
Right.
think of how can a crane hold a tiger at bay, it certainly ain't gonna be strength to strength, teeth to teeth. Crane ain't got no
Right.
teeth. But what you're
Right.
doing is just like, okay, the tiger charges, you're in front of the tiger. Tiger says, I'm gonna eat you up, and then you step to the side and just push the tiger
Yeah.
and say, chill, I got
Yeah.
eggs here. And then you come to the other side,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna smash them eggs. Chill, hold on, chill.
Yeah.
It's still no affirmative. Like you ain't going back and punching the tiger. There's no need. This is my nest.
Right.
As long as you rushing
Right.
my nest, you're gonna have to contend with me because I'm not leaving. But at the same time, you think you can take it. You won't. It's mine. It's just that
Right.
so the way that you defend, it's not there's no weakness to it. But I don't
Right.
know. I'm amped tonight. I'm on one. I just keep wanting you to bun somebody up, and you just keep saying it's peace, brother. It's peace.
that's that's the thing about people. A lot of times they like when I'm quite intellectual,
Absolutely.
and sometimes that trips people out. They There's a lot of people that expect to see the gangster side of me. I am a thug. I ain't gonna lie. I'm I'm a soft thug though, 'cause I like my feminine side, and the pretty shoes and the weaves and wigs and shit. Um,
I tell
I
everybody in a minute that the dog that do a lot of barking ain't gonna bite shit.
Yeah, and
The whole
that's what I
reason
was
of
gonna
it.
say.
Hmm.
That's what I was gonna say. Now,
Yeah, yeah.
on the other hand, I'm cool, calm, and collected right now, but yeah, there's that ugly side. There is an ugly side, but the key to mine is I'll never let nobody see it.
No,
And there's a lot of times I could be 38 hot with your ass, but I'm steady looking at you with this little smile, like, all right,
you'll never know.
okay. You
I've only
never
known
know
one.
until bam. Oh shit. The
Yeah,
fuck? Why is my lip
she really
bleeding?
meant that.
Nigga that straight stole you in the face or something, you know.
Well,
but
I've only known one pit bull ever to bark. My nephew had a chocolate, like dark chocolate pit bull, and was
but
spoiled rotten. Him and his sister used to carry it around like a baby and like nuzzle his chin and stuff. I'd come in and I'd see a pit bull until whoop, whoop, and I'm going like, this is a spoiled baby. And that's but normally a pit is gonna light you up. You don't hear no barking because
mm-mm,
they don't want you to run. Dogs that bark is like, get away, leave me alone, stop it,
for
go this way.
real,
But a dog that's gonna light you
he's
up,
gonna run up on you and bite your ass. The one that
exactly.
really
Like I
wants
don't want you to leave. I want you to stay. I got you. I understand. I know. I think that was indicative of the entire caustic camp, though. I just it was just a bunch of people's like, you know what? These folks are a joy to be around while they're a joy to be around.
you.
But I'm
Right.
very cognizant that if there's ever a time where, like, if Trump said, uh, I think we need the room, oh, okay, bet. It was never that. If he would have ever said that, then y'all finna had a room, and I'm finna get what they call in the industry the fuck on. You know, because I mean, you don't press people, but at the same time, I am impressed with the way you show your gangster. You know what I'm saying? It ain't real gangsters don't tell you. That's the last thing some tough person is gonna tell you is how tough they are. You'll find out.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Like it's one of the metaphors that I actually like that a lot of the mainstream rappers, man, these mainstream rappers is putting out. It's a couple of them that's putting out some lame ass metaphors, and y'all know who I'm talking about. There's a couple
Right.
of lines that y'all done heard that made a nigga question like,
Right.
but
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Uh,
I, I ain't even gonna fuck with them like that. I'm not gonna say it, but
no, move along. Don't
it's
even worry.
it's like what Lil Wayne said on one of his verses, real G's move in silence.
Yep, like lasagna. That's right. Now,
Yeah.
we talked incessantly. I think we just stumbled onto the answer to the third question about how you defend your space. So, us
Right,
talking about, the way that you present your thug, I can't, and with the kung fu paradigm and stuff, I think we covered that. But lastly, when a space is yours, you welcome and you host others. And I think you've
Right,
touched on this already, but having claimed your space as an MC in this game, you sitting at your table. Speak for a moment
right.
on how you welcome others into your space. Like, come on, have a seat. How do you do that?
Um, I would, sorry about the but I would, of course, welcome them to come sit at my table because I feel that all the knowledge and the experience that I've had over the years, once I stop touching the stages, the fuck I'm gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? So why not pass it on? I feel that I'm here to teach the next person. I feel that I'm here to heal people, entertain people, educate people, you know. So I would welcome others into my space by offering some type of collaboration, or I would do as I do now. I offer artist development, I offer mentorship, things of that nature, because in my eyes, I'm still on the same page as when hip hop started. It's supposed to be a unity type thing. So, I'm not in competition with anybody. So I welcomed a lot of people into my space, male and females, and I just kept kept it original. I kept my own space by continuing to be the hard ass spitter that's covered up.
I don't know, but I think that I get the idea. I'm envisioning this banquet table again, and some
Hmm.
so-called tough person coming up to your chair, your particular chair, and telling
Hmm.
you that's my chair. You're in my chair, move. And your calm demeanor is like, no, like like no, you it's not the chair, but at the same time in the same breath, because you're not in defensive mode. And that since this is your space, it's not, hey, go away, stop bothering me. This isn't your space. It's, hey, there's another chair right next to me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Have a seat. There's a salad right there. There's a dessert right there. It's a whole lot of forks. In fact, you can have some of mine. It's almost
Exactly.
like, yeah.
Why take my spot when you could come and sit with me?
Mm. And that's why you the MC with the bars. You gonna come take my
It's real
spot.
talk.
Get your own spot right
It's,
here.
yeah, it's real talk. Why you want to come and take my shit when you can come and get shit with me right here? I got some shit for you too. It's right there. Don't take my shit. I can help you get some of this shit. You ain't finna take mine.
One of the most gangster scenes in that movie, King of New York. Uh, I'm trying to remember the name. It was Frank something. Gosh, what was his name? The actor. Mm, mm,
The
mm.
King of New York.
King of New York. Yeah, the star. Um,
Was it Ray Liotta wasn't in that, was he?
it wasn't Ray Liotta. He's another good one. Gosh, I can see this dude's face. Mm, but I
I
remember
hate when
he.
that.
Yeah, and I'll think about it, and I'll probably call you tomorrow and
It's
be
gonna
like,
pop in
Spliphy.
your head when the podcast over. As soon as we done talking, it's gonna
Yeah,
pop up in your head like, damn, there that
no,
shit go.
yeah, exactly. What's crazy is I could Google it, but I'm just not gonna do that. I hate Googling stuff that I should know because I know this guy's. But at any rate, the scene was
Good
such,
is
and
bullshitting sometimes.
anybody who knows the movie knows the scene. Him and his girl were on the subway, and a couple of thugs came up that were gonna rob him and stuff like that. And he just like,
Mm,
hey. And I don't know whether he brandished a gun, but by the time the interaction was over, he was offering them a job. It's like, you know what?
mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm not the guy that you robbed. It's like
For
I'm
real.
I'm the guy that's gonna put you on. So I think that all too often the way that we see confrontation is such that it's me on you and I have to put you down versus it's not really a confrontation at all. We should both be against confrontation. that kind of
Is
thing.
it?
So,
Is it?
okay, that's
You
beautiful.
know, if I can't get you straight to the doggone food, then I could connect you with somebody that can.
Bars.
You
Folks,
know what
that's
I'm
real
saying? Don't take my
conversation.
shit. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
help
well,
you
yeah, you
out.
certainly
You
won't take.
know?
I think that's the assertion. I mean, it doesn't have to be a hard assertion. You say, no, no, this is,
Exactly.
but I want you to have yours.
Exactly. Exactly. Now this shit right here is mine, but I can help you get some.
Absolutely. Now, all that non-confrontational stuff, I still push the boundary a little bit and stuff, but I'm starting to get your mode. But now that we're at the table, you done claimed your spot.
Right,
Um,
right,
we can smell it. It's some beef cooking. But
right.
I don't tend, since the story is similar person to person, I'm not really dealing
Uh-huh.
with people as I'm dealing with principles and principalities. So then, now that we're at the table and the steaks are on the way and we smell the beef cooking, I want to take
Mhm.
that and extend the metaphor as something that is representative of challenges. As you went through
Mhm.
challenges and changes that happened along your career journey, your life's journey, I need you to
Mhm.
tell me, like what's the answer, Sway? You found, I'm sure, at some point in time that there was an ambiguous they. When you were getting to
Mhm.
the answers, when you were getting to the bag, when you were getting some level of comfort, notoriety, whatever you were seeking on this journey, there was some they that was changing questions every time you mastered the test. So then to break it down, I have a couple of questions I want you to address right quick here. Um, what would you be trying to do when you got in the game and they were trying to hinder it? Like, speak to like the stuff that you be trying to do that you couldn't because they were in the way. And who were they?
Naysayers really.
Okay.
It was mostly naysayers. Like you can't do that. You can't do it like that. You can't say that. And that's that word that I don't like. I tell my kids ain't a word. Yes,
Okay.
it is. It's in the dictionary. Well, since you want to be fucking technical, it's two words put together. Okay, so can't ain't a damn word. so the they for me would be the naysayers. You know, people that say they trying to doubt you, hold you back, and that's what they did to hinder my position. What I was trying to do to get in the game. That's what they did. They kept saying, "No, you can't. You
Okay.
can't. No." You know what I'm saying?
And you've had
Yeah.
plenty of practice because you've already been defeating your inner demons. When they say no, you can't, you telling yourself yes, you can. So when someone
Mm-hmm.
external to you comes up and say no, you can't, yes, I can.
Actually, by that point, I'm more like, "Fuck you, mean I can't."
I've already beaten the biggest supervillain inside. You pose no
Exactly.
threat. I got you.
Yeah. I ain't telling myself I can't. So how the fuck you gonna tell me I can't?
Ooh.
Shit, if I feel like I can, I know I can, and God tell me I can, nigga, I can.
Mmm. That's that energy. See, I knew it was coming out some way, shape, or form. Still ain't cost it. But now I tell people, like anybody who will listen, I rep. I'll be like, look, I'm from Skeggy. You can't tell me who I am. I can tell you who I am, though.
Right.
Because I mean, there's a proud tradition. If you just Google Tuskegee, you'll start seeing
Hmm.
stuff, about the history. Some things you knew, some things you didn't. And so then it's a
Right.
place that you can certainly beat your chest about, Tuskegee, Alabama. And so then
Hell
one
yeah.
of the things that I would carry with me in that regard is that I can tell you exactly who I am, who my people
Hmm.
are. But when someone proceeds to try to tell me who I am, well, that's when you
Right.
overstep. You can feel
Hell
free to
yeah.
talk and let your own head roar, but I don't have to believe none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because
It's
I'm
all
very solid. I've been steeped in who I am. Likewise,
shit,
by
real
the
talk.
time you
Nigga,
figure out,
I'm a Jamaican from Texas, so I can.
that's right, Island flavor. I forgot.
Ain't no can't nowhere else in me.
That's
and
right. That's right.
and that fuck you mean I can't. That's Houston all day. You ain't gonna tell
Absolutely.
no Houston, you ain't gonna tell no Texan that they can't.
Oh, ooh. You know what? It's
Period.
fun to watch somebody try though.
Yeah, it is.
The rest of
It's
us will
very
get the popcorn
entertaining.
and watch like, ooh, this ain't gonna go good. Watch this. Watch this.
You know what I'm saying? It's very entertaining because it's straight grinders and hustlers, and Houston is the same as what I'm saying, New York, California, Miami. You got those hard grinders and hustlers, but you ain't gonna you can't tell no person from Houston, especially from the dead end where I'm from. Dead end all day, baby. You can't tell us we can't.
Shout
Shit,
out to the
fuck you
homie.
mean?
I don't know if you've had a chance to run across him, but in our group chats and emails, Sydney Hopes, Sidro, is also from out
Right.
there. I can't remember whether he is calling Houston or whether he's calling Beaumont, but like right
Oh yeah,
around,
Beaumont like an hour and something away from Houston. It's like
yeah,
60 something miles.
yeah. So I know that area is kind of, it's like Tuscaloosa, Birmingham is kind of that close, or maybe
Yeah,
Lithonia in Atlanta or something like that, So
it's it's, it's like Tusca. Well, Tuscaloosa. Yeah, like Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, maybe like an
exactly,
hour away.
exactly. So
Yeah,
that kind of thing there, the neighborhood and stuff, that same, we kind of drink the same water type of situation. But so
yeah,
shout outs to, another one of the Fest fam out that way and stuff. I hope to get him on the horn here pretty soon. But yeah, I think that telling particularly Houston, but Texas as a state, just don't mess with Texas. And if you do, call me so somebody can have the camera going because this is gonna be funny.
hey, that's the slogan right there. Don't mess with Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know it. The thing about it, that's funny is this, especially come football season and stuff, people don't mess with Texas. And we say, yeah, well, we'll see you in the fall. Roll Tide.
Right?
Which I mean, this season Texas joins the SEC, so that's gonna be a whole bunch of good barbecue chewing right there and stuff there. So I'm
Man,
looking
you
forward to
know, and I'm all the way in Florida, man, but I'm a true Texan though.
it.
I'm a Houston
Absolutely.
Texan fan. I'm
Oh, I'm in
always be
Georgia talking about Alabama, so I already feel the pain.
yeah.
Oh, we
Houston
surrounded
Texans
by
suck ass
dogs.
right now. They sucking ass right now, but I'm a Houston Texans fan all day, and the
See,
Dallas Cowboys fan.
that's the thing. See, you already know. That's why I dropped out the league. And the Houston Texans, they treat my uncle right. Like if Uncle Zeke want to go to a game, they'll comp his tickets, they'll announce him, they'll give him the
Yeah,
suite, all of that stuff. But I'm like, no, man, no. I'm an Oiler. I'm Bum Phillips, Jerry Glanville, Ryan.
you
I'm like
know,
Warren Moon. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm that.
man.
Alonzo Highsmith. Until they went to Tennessee. Once they went to
Exactly.
Tennessee and they went dormant for a while, and then you just had the Texas pop up. I'm like, who was it? JJ Watt. I'm like, there's a couple of people that was out
Yeah,
there. I'm like,
yeah,
y'all fun and everything, but it just hurt. They just hurt my feelings. I'm like, what y'all do with
yeah.
Uncle Zeke?
I was hurt too. I was hurt too. The
But yeah, that
Texans, man.
Texas though, that pride though still exists, and to
Of
me, that's
course
what
you
makes it fun. If you didn't have that pride, then what fun are you as an opponent? If you
did.
don't.
Right.
So I get you. Well, I think we of course we drifted into the third hour here, so I want to make sure to go ahead, get you along your way. Um we talked about before we went live here that I certainly want to give you a chance to speak on what's going on now. What you
Right.
got up in the future, like how can we uh, one, tell me what's going on and how can we support that, and what you got coming up in the future. Just tell us what we need to know to support you, and then tell us how we can keep up with you and follow you.
Okay, awesome sauce. Well, for one, y'all can go check out my music. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a lot of visuals up, but I got a couple videos up on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Spliph Stonian Entertainment, and that's SplipHStonient on YouTube. Got some little entertainment on there for you. Like, share, subscribe. I have Earcrack Music, Earcrack Mixtape Volume 1. It's available on all platforms. I did a little rendition of Scissor's Weekend.
Okay.
And this Weekend the Smokers version, I was sitting up and I was down to my last bud of weed and I felt some kind of way and I
Mm.
decided to write a song about it. So I'm not a singer, but I had fun singing that hoe.
Okay.
Also Chevrell Jack, which is who I mentioned earlier. She's my music partner in Houston. She's CEO of Southside Live Click. She's also featured on that mixtape. She's Miss Trigger. She got a freestyle on there called "It's Going Down," and I have Ear Crack Mixtape Volume 2 in the works right now. Volume 2, and the name of that one is Cover Queen. And I'm taking a couple of songs, like the old school jacket for beats type shit,
Got you.
and took a couple of tracks that caught my eye and rewrote some songs on it. So that's coming real soon. I got a couple of features coming up. One with Samson. He's also with Southside Live Click. It's Dub Samson Almighty, and his music is on all platforms. And also have a feature with L. Dot. This guy is a cat that I also mentor on and off. I remember meeting him the first time on stage. First time he saw me on stage, he was like blown away. So shout out to Bar Life, L. Dot off in this mud. Holla at my people. But in October, I'm going to be doing the Music Woman Festival with Mimi Johnson. It is the Music Woman Festival. It is going to be held at the Bowden Center in Atlanta, Georgia. It's the whole weekend. It's going to be from Thursday to Saturday. Thursday is going to be an open mic, and I'm looking at the flyer right now. So Thursday, October 17th, the open mic is going to start off the Music Woman Festival. It's 3 days in Atlanta. So the 17th is going to be at the Core on Main Street in East Point for the open mic. Friday is the kickoff party at the Atrium, and you'll catch me there performing live, uncut. So you get the gangster spliff off up in there,
Ah.
and a lot of other artists are gonna come through on the kickoff party. And speaking of that, other artists that are performing, hosting live and performing is gonna be Abyss. Papa Duke the Poet is gonna be performing live and hosting. She's gonna be performing with her mom, Mimi Johnson. They got the Mom and Pop Show on YouTube. Y'all need to go and check them out. Very talented mother and daughter duo. You know what I'm saying? And also, you can go to hit this website for you. Go to www.musicwoman.art, and you can contact Mimi Johnson there. You can get tickets for the main event, which is going to be Saturday, October 19th from 4 to 9 at the HJC Bowden Center over on Church Street in Atlanta. So you can hit up the website, buy you some tickets. You can catch my Instagram, Spliph_Stonian on Instagram, and you can check out my Facebook, Spliph Lewis. I'll have the posts up. The flyers are going to be up. and you could get you a ticket. I have a link to buy tickets on there also. So it's going to be pretty interesting. People are able to buy ads also.
Okay.
They can buy ads to put up during the event. Um, um, Also, it's going to be there's a JCFI Music Ensemble. It's a jazz camp for female instrumentalists out of, I want to say this right, Mamelodi, South Africa.
Hmm.
So there's going to be a lot of entertainment, a lot of different people there. Y'all going to be in the Atlanta area in October, the weekend of October 17th to 19th. Y'all come through and support us, you know. And that's what's going on right now, man. That's what's going on right now. Just maintaining, doing a lot of crafting and things going on. I always got something going on. But that's where
Absolutely.
y'all can find me. If anything, I got anything going on before then, I'll definitely let you know. I'm gonna hit you up with some live footage for everybody to check out. I might do a little snippet of the Ear Crack Volume 2 on live for the little Old Jones Fest.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you got it
I
on the
gotta get
air
off.
because I was certainly gonna suggest it off air. I was like, hey, do me a little tiny bit something. Give me something now.
Hey, shoot, you know what I'm saying? I could throw a little something at you, you know.
Absolutely. I was like, man, just turn the camera on and do something in the car. Give me some car bars. I'll take anything. Anything that I can get from Spliph Stonian is gonna be something that we can smoke, toke, and joke to. Let's go.
For sure with it. So I give you an audio and then I'll build you up a video, you know what I'm saying? Give them a little curtness on or whatever
Sounds
and
good.
all that good stuff like that. Get my girly. But when it comes to entertainment and just being an all around person, I just want to get you to the table. Teach you how to eat till you can't see your navel. Fuck what a nigga talking about here, a hater. Ugly Bubba say keep getting to the paper. Mind over matter, can't forget that data. Fall down, nigga, that shit don't matter. Get your ass up, get back on that ladder, nigga. That's the only way you don't stop chit chatter. Don't look now, but they looking for a weakness. Can't find none, so they looking for a reason. Why? This bitch season for season. Why? This bitch keep on eating. I've been addicted to finance, that's why my whole family call me the you highness. But you niggas sleeping on Spliff, cause Spliff ain't tripping, cause you not the reason she rhyming. I'ma just keep on climbing. I'm investing in gold, not diamonds. I'm spitting this shit. I designed it. I'm booking this track like Giannis. I just get to the money and try to protect my little homies from dummy, but you, I'm gonna stop right there.
They got to pay for the rest. They got to pay for the rest. Look,
I got
my
to wait for
folks,
the live video for that one right there.
exactly. Folks, I ain't got it. I'm gonna take Spliff's page. I'm not finna get all hyped and angry about it and stuff like that. I'm gonna keep it mellow. It is what it is. You
For
heard the
sure.
bars. You know who you think your favorite is. Put it up against that. I'm not gonna argue with you anymore about your top 10 and stuff like that because I'm very sure about my people. That's why I bring them in on
Right.
this platform. What's even more cool is that they answer the call. Spliff, I want to thank you seriously for answering the call. I want to thank my
Yes,
listeners, our
my
listeners
pleasure.
now, uh,
Yes.
for giving us your ears for a time. And I want to just formally say thanks for checking out the latest real conversation from Oh My Talking Head, a production of Oh No He Did Entertainment under the auspices of Cottrell Jones Multimedia, respectively and respectfully. You can find us most everywhere online at Oh My Talking Head. That's OHMYTALKINGHEAD at Oh No He Did ENT. That's OKNOWHEDIDENT, like Oh No He Did, and at Cottrell Jones COTTRELLJONESMM for multimedia. All of these are highly Googleable. You can search them up on Google. I assure you. You Google any one of those, it comes up what you need, us. Go ahead and do us a favor, look us up, and hook us up with a like, share, follow. Tell your friends. and tune in to the next episode. But for now, we're going to bid you good night. And Spliff, it's a late night,
Yeah.
probably an early morning for you by now. Get some rest.